Hildwin is an intelligence-based mage class hero from the Draconis Faction who specializes in controlling his enemies and supporting his teammates, and in today's video we're going to take a look at his skills and abilities, his teams and uses, and whether or not it's worth investing into this hero, so let's get into it. His ultimate ability is Searing Wind. For this one it has an active and a passive portion. Passively, at the start of battle, Hildwin will summon 3 flaming magic circles to the battlefield. These magic circles will attack the farthest enemy every 6 seconds, dealing damage to any enemies along the shot's path. When Hildwin uses his ultimate ability, he will shift into his dragon form, going up into the air and dealing damage with flaming pillars to all enemies on the battlefield. This will also pull the enemies in towards the center and energize his magic circles. On top of all this, when he hits level 3 skill up for his ultimate ability, he will gain an additional passive where at the start of battle, he's going to cause all intelligence-based heroes besides himself to deal 10% reduced damage. On top of that, each time he uses his ultimate, this is further reduced by 5% up to a maximum of 20%. And on top of that, the energy recovery rate of all enemy intelligence-based heroes will be reduced by 30%. Next, we have the passive ability Flame Snare. For this one, it's going to adjust his basic attacks to now prioritize the enemy with the smallest angle relative to himself. After he lands 2 hits on the said target, they will become ensnared in flames and be stuck immobilized for up to 2 seconds and take additional damage. For his Mage Slam ability, Hildwin is going to remove all the shields from all enemies on the battlefield and stop them from receiving shields for the next 3 seconds. On top of that, he's going to target the enemy farthest from him and knock them into the air, stunning them for 2 seconds. Now, on top of that, when he does enter the battlefield, his first use of this ability will prioritize the enemy opposite his position. And then we have his passive ability, Arcane Insight. For this one, every strike of damage that he takes from enemy heroes, future damage from the same skill will be reduced. On top of that, every 12 seconds throughout the battle, he will provide himself and the ally with the lowest health a shield based on his attack rating, and also this will reduce the damage they take while shielded by 20%. His signature item skill is Incineration. At base, it will increase his normal attack damage. At level 10, 20% of the damage from his normal attacks will ignore shields. Then at level 20, his normal attack is increased by 5% of the target's max health, up to a maximum of 250% of his attack rating. Then at level 30, when he uses a normal attack, he will additionally target an enemy with the smallest angle relative to himself. And finally, at level 40, for every 4 normal attacks he uses, he will call down Draconic Flames to bombard the target, which will deal Dragon Speak damage to his enemies in range. His furniture item ability is Blazing Grace. At level 3, for every 3 normal attacks he uses, all of his Draconic Flames will launch a fireball at the target. Then at level 9, his flaming magic circles can protect him, and instead of dying, he will teleport to one of his magic circles, absorb their energy, bringing himself back up to full HP, and being invulnerable for 1 second. Then the magic circle will disappear. And finally, we have his Engravings. At level 30, when he uses an active skill, he will additionally select the target nearest the enemy hero as a target for the skill. Then at level 60, when his allies get hit, it will increase his knowledge and increase the damage reduction effect from his Arcane Insight up to 60%. Despite having a lot of damage-based abilities in his kit, damage is not Hildwin's main purpose. He has 3 main things that keep him in a team. The first being his ability to inhibit enemy intelligence-based heroes with that skill up on his ultimate ability. The second is being able to control enemies and group them up, especially with his ultimate. And the third is being able to help protect his allies and also be a pseudo tank due to his 9 furniture, giving him essentially 3 cheat deaths throughout the battle. So in this example, we're going to look at the team of Hildwin, Atheus, Noroko, Amelia, and Liberta, along with our beast being the Slumber Seal. Now the Slumber Seal is important in this one because it does offer a bulk of the team's damage, while the rest of the team is here to survive and control the enemy team. Hildwin is in the front row here as he does have his additional cheat deaths thanks to his 9 furnitures being able to absorb the magic circles. He's then obviously going to control the enemies as well as he can and group them up to put them in line of Atheus's cage. So next up we do have Atheus in here. Once again, he is a really solid tank, being able to mitigate a lot of damage on himself and survive the early phases of a battle. Then when he uses his ultimate, he will put his cage out, which will be able to control the enemies further, and once again synergizing super well with Hildwin and that grouping capacity. The next one we have here is Noroko. Noroko can be replaced by a lot of units in this team. This role is just another character that is there to sort of stall and distract and control the enemy team so that we can live for long enough. Then we have Amelia. Amelia is important in this team because she can control the enemy team at the very start of battle. Should she happen to die, she will also control them once again. So she is that very strong unit for the start of a battle, getting teams under control. Then finally we have Liberta. Liberta is our highest damaging hero in this team, but also provides us with some healing just in case we do start to get low. And then as we mentioned, we do have the Slumber Seal in this team, and with this beast it is fantastic because this beast will be dealing a bulk of the team's damage, and then once again we will control the team until that damage can roll in. As for collections, Captive Wings can be really handy to help with controlling the enemy team, and if you can get it to level 3, it will give him some added survivability. Now as for stats to be looking for, Magic Pierce is going to help increase his damage, and Energy Recovery Rate is going to help him ult that bit faster to keep the enemies under control. So with all that out of the way, how far do we want to invest into Hildwin? Being a rare unit, hyper investing into him is never a bad thing, but the most important one to pick up for most players will be that 9 furniture. This provides him those extra lives to be able to teleport to his magic circles and avoid death. When we look at his signature item, it is really nice to get that additional haste that it provides. However, the abilities through it enhancing his damage are not the most necessary, as once you get further into the game, his damage will scale away and he will be used more in a supportive role. Finally, we have his engravings. Now his engravings are really nice to pick up, especially his 30 because it will offer him extra control abilities. Then his 60 is one you can invest into other heroes first, due to the fact that it is a nice amount of mitigation, but it's not 100% necessary for him to function in his role. So a safe investment would be always getting that 9 furniture, 30 engraving, and then it's up to you on the signature item, but it's still not bad to pick up for that haste that it provides. Also early on in the early game, it will provide him with a decent bit of damage. So that is going to be it for Hildwin, the first of our highborn Draconis heroes. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and we'll look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.